Alright, let's dive into this story about Saudi Arabia's crown prince, Mohammed bin Salman, MBS, and how he's shaking things up big time in the kingdom. I mean, this guy is not just your average royal lounging around in a palace, right? He's out there pulling moves that would make anyone sit up and say, wow, what's happening over there? So let's break it all down from, a bit of an American perspective and maybe sprinkle some Elon-style vibes along the way. Okay, so first off, Saudi Arabia's been all over the place recently, right? They've been pouring money into cultural industries, hosting big sports events, and even dabbling in esports. You'd think they're trying to be the next Hollywood or Silicon Valley or something. But actually, all of this is part of their Vision 2030. It's like their big, bold, ambitious game plan to reshape the kingdom. They want to diversify away from oil and, kind of make their economy future-proof. But here's the kicker. To pull this off, they've been doing some stuff that's got everyone talking. Domestically, they've been hitting hard on religious conservatism, cutting down the influence of feudal nobles, and driving industrial development. Oh, and creating jobs in totally new sectors like gaming and tourism. Yep, that's happening in Saudi Arabia of all places. Wild, right? And internationally? Oh boy, they've been cozying up to China, investing tons of cash there, and even making peace with old enemies, like the kind of enemies where you'd think, no way, not in 1,000 years. All this to create a super stable environment for their big reforms. Now all of this ties back to one guy, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. Like, he's the dude driving this whole bus. And let me tell you, his road to power? It's a movie, man. This guy wasn't even supposed to be a major player. Born in 1985, he's the sixth son of King Salman, who wasn't even king back when MBS was born. And, fun fact, the Saudi royal family is huge. Like, we're talking 5,000 princes. Yeah, 5,000. Imagine trying to stand out in that crowd. Oh, and here's where it gets interesting. Saudi Arabia's succession system isn't the classic father-to-son deal. It's this whole brother-to-brother thing. You've got to wait for all your uncles to finish their turn before the next generation gets a shot. Gee, it's like a really slow merry-go-round. Growing up, MBS wasn't even on the radar as a potential heir. Unlike other princes sent to elite schools in the US or Europe to study and network, he stayed in Saudi Arabia. Yeah, just chilling locally, learning about his own culture and traditions. At the time, people probably thought, well, that's it for him. He's not going anywhere. But you know what? That might have been his secret sauce. He didn't get distracted by Western ideologies or alliances. He just focused on, understanding his own backyard. When his dad, Salman, became crown prince in 2011, MBS suddenly got a ticket to the big leads. You see, Salman was already this major figure in the royal family, known as a mediator and problem solver. So when he got that top dog status, MBS started getting noticed. Here's the thing about Saudi Arabia's governance. It's kind of like this massive, rich, feudal time capsule. The country's founding king, Abdulaziz, married women from all the key tribes, producing a bunch of sons who all had claims to power. The succession system was set up to rotate between brothers to keep everyone happy and avoid tribal infighting. Sounds clever, right? But, the problem is that it's super inefficient. By the time a prince gets the throne, he's probably 70 or 80. These guys aren't exactly brimming with energy or, radical ideas. So the country just coasted for decades, powered by oil money, without much innovation or reform. Then came the Arab Spring in 2010 to 2011. Oh wow, that was like a giant alarm bell for the Saudis. They saw other regimes in the region collapse, and it freaked them out. The late King Abdullah realized that while cozying up to the US was good for business, importing Western democratic ideas? Not so much. That's just asking for trouble in a place like Saudi Arabia. At the same time, people were starting to realize that oil wouldn't last forever. I mean, sure, Saudi Arabia is rich now, but what happens when the wells run dry, or when the world moves on to clean energy? They needed a long-term strategy, and they needed it fast. By the time King Salman took the throne in 2015, he was already in his late 70s. He knew the country needed someone young, bold, and ready to shake things up. That's where MBS came in. As crown prince, he's been a whirlwind of reforms and, yeah, controversy. This guy doesn't do things halfway. He launched this massive anti-corruption campaign which, okay, sure, cleaned up some bad actors, but also conveniently sidelined a bunch of his rivals. Coincidence? He's also reining in the religious police, allowing women to drive, and opening up cinemas and concerts. Imagine telling someone in 2010 that Saudi Arabia would host a WWE match or a Formula One race. They'd laugh in your face. But here we are. And let's not forget Neom, his futuristic megacity project that's supposed to be powered by AI and renewable energy. Wow, that's some next-level stuff. But is it doable? We'll see. Of course, not everyone's thrilled about all this. The older generation of royals, Those guys who've been running the show for decades, they're not exactly jumping up and down in support. But MBS? He's not the type to back down. He's sidelined rivals, consolidated power, and oh yeah, reportedly locked up even his own family members to keep things under control. Ruthless? Sure. Effective? Looks like it. One of the boldest moves under MBS has been trying to reduce Saudi dependence on the US for decades. The relationship was all about oil for security. But now, Saudi's looking east, investing heavily in China, and even patching things up with Iran. Yes, Iran. The two countries have been rivals for like 1,000 years. So yeah, that's a big deal. Alright, so here's the deal. MBS is reshaping Saudi Arabia in ways that seemed impossible just a decade ago. He's young, ambitious, and yeah, controversial. Some people think he's the hero Saudi Arabia needs. Others think he's pushing too hard, too fast. But one thing's for sure, he's not afraid to take risks. So what do you think? Is MBS the guy who's going to drag Saudi Arabia into the 21st century? Or is he playing a dangerous game with too many moving parts? Either way, it's going to be fascinating to watch.